Believe it or not, 3 core exercises is all it takes for you to become an absolute master when it comes to core strength and control. But we'll not have any of that soft beginner stuff. What we are learning today are gonna be core skills. And if you learn them, you will never have to progress past this at all unless you want to be really advanced when it comes to core strength for whatever reason. With skill number 1 being the elevated L-sit, the Windshield Wiper, one of my favorite calisthenics core exercises and one of the most hated yet most effective core exercises to ever grace the face of this earth, the classic Lallane plank. I hope that's how you say it. And don't worry, while all of those exercises are somewhat advanced, we will go through progressions for all of them, starting from very low impact, very easy, beginner-friendly exercises, and working our way up until you can do all 3 of those. So if you're ready, let's go and have some fun. Now let's get started with the L-sit progression. What we will have to work on most is our hip flexors connecting to our quadriceps as well as our lower abdominals, which will be taking the brunt of the force, as well as real body tension and control to be able to hold this position for longer periods of time. Now, to make this whole thing a little bit easier for beginners, we're gonna sit in an elevated position and start with the easiest exercise, knee raises in a seated position. There is literally nothing easier than that for our hip flexors and our lower abdominals. Moving on to level number 2, raising those legs in an extended fashion as high as we can. And level number 3, we're gonna raise, extended, hold statically for a handful of seconds, let go, and of course do the same thing on the other side. Now, next level in this progression would be doing the same things in a seated position. However, the more upright you stay in your upper body and the more you lean forward, the harder the exercise will be. So if you need a step in between those 2 levels, you can just lean back like so and go through this progression. First, we start with knee pull-ins as well as moving on to the dynamic raises. Left side or right side. Then we're gonna move on to our static holds, and here we have one more level for this exercise. To add a little bit more strength and more control aspects for our hip flexors as well, we're gonna look for anything that we can raise our leg above, touch down, and reverse. Stay fully upright in your upper body. You're gonna require a lot of strength and a lot of control for this one, and over time you can start raising the bar to make those exercises harder and harder to go through. Now, moving on to the next level in this progression, we don't only need our lower abdominals, we also need a lot of strength and control in our upper body to put all of this together. We're gonna look for something we can use to elevate our hands. I'm using yoga blocks, you can use books or whatever you have at home, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna start elevating our upper body and then folding forward. Now, the good thing about this exercise is, for one, we're gonna work on the required posterior chain flexibility one would need for the L-sit, but also we are working our upper body in conjunction with our core, which for most people is a very unusual thing to do. Elevate, hinge in your hip forward as much as you can, lengthen your posterior chain, and extend, reverse, and repeat. Now, of course, we have dynamic repetitions, and once we've gone through the dynamic repetitions, the next level would be adding static holds in the folded forward position for 10 to 15 seconds. With all of these exercises out of the way in one complete progression, you should be able to raise on your hands and raise your legs just like so. However, if you want to go to the next level where we work on our fingertips and do the exact same position, now you can remove the blocks or whatever you've been using and start folding forward on your fingertips. And instead of letting go all the way, we're gonna still keep our fingers on the ground. We wanna actively push them into the floor. Up, fold forward, hold for 10 to 15. Get up, sit down, keep some pressure on your fingertips, and do the whole thing again and again. You're gonna notice insane strengthening for our anterior chain and very nice stretch for our posterior chain. In this way, you will be able to L-sit pretty quickly. Now we can move on to the windshield wiper, and now you're gonna notice why we learned the L-sit first, because all of the things we learned for the L-sit will directly translate to what we require in the windshield wiper, except for one single thing, and that is rotational core strength, which we're gonna learn now. To start out our progression, we should be able to go through all of the exercises we were doing in a seated position in a relaxed hanging position, meaning going through single-sided knee raises as well as double-sided knee raises this time, single-sided extended leg raises, as well as double-sided extended leg raises. And now we have 4 foundational core exercises for the L-sit that we can build while we are hanging from a bar to strengthen our grip strength and work on our forearms, which again, a pretty nice bonus to have when you're working on your core. Now our next exercise in the progression would be pulling in our knees and using this as our starting position. Pull up, tucked, lever, and reverse. Pull up, to a tucked lever and reverse. You can even rotate much further, go into a parallel position to the floor and reverse. And after going through our dynamic tucked lever, we can start working on dynamic rotational tucked lever. Pull your knees in, rotate to the left, rotate to the right. And from here on, it's pretty easy to know what you need to do to get into the windshield wiper itself. And that of course is extending our legs more and more and more. The stronger we become, going through longer and longer and longer rotations. You can work very slowly. You can hold on one side, then hold on the other side, and play around with this exercise until you feel really comfortable hanging from the bar, going left and right. And of course, for your benefit and mine, I saved the easiest progression for what is probably the hardest exercise of all of those 3 for last. Because all you need to do to progress to a Lallane plank is start learning how to do a classic quadrupedal hold. Once you have enough strength to raise your knees, you can go on like so, and all you need to do from here is step forward with your hands, step backwards with your feet. The stronger you become, the longer you can make your body, the more you can step forward and backwards and forward and backwards until you're really, really close to the floor, and hold for as long as you can. And after recording all of these exercises, I can barely hold this for 3 to 5 seconds because it is really exhausting. But this one will by far help you build the most insane core strength as well as body control that you can ever wish for. Benefiting you with any other fitness goal you have, but specifically with anything that requires the most remote amount of core strength, core control, as well as full body tension. And there you have it, 3 true advanced core strength skills that are not only much more interesting than doing sit-ups and crunches all the time, but also have insane bonuses of full body strength, grip strength, posterior chain flexibility, anterior chain static strength, and all kinds of extra bonuses and benefits we wouldn't have if we were training our core the conventional way. But with that said, once again, sadly, that's all the time I have left for you today. I still have a couple of classes to teach. However, if you like the video and subscribe, and please guys, check out other videos on this channel because we literally have new ones every single day. Which means that I will see you tomorrow. Captain Cairo, peace out.